Welcome to Live United. My name is Karen Knapp, President, CEO, United Way of St. Lucie County. United Way's mission is to improve lives by mobilizing the caring power of our community. And we do this by raising resources so that we can help the health and human service programs here in St. Lucie County. Today, our visitors, our guests, are from the Boys and Girls Clubs of St. Lucie County. Welcome, Michael. Welcome, Charlie.
Thanks for having me.
Michael, you've been the executive director of, excuse me, Boys and Girls Clubs for a year now.
14 months. Yeah.
Over a year.
Over a year.
Tell us how it's going.
It's great. Awesome community. Have a great board, great staff, but most importantly, the kids. That's what we do every day. We work with kids, and what a great group of kids. We're serving over 1,300 kids a day coming through our locations. And so it's just been a phenomenal experience over the last 14 months in running the organization. And I think I take great joy in meeting all of the community partners such as United Way and all of the folks that help us do what we do. And it's just been awesome.
Was it all that you expected it to be?
It was that and then some. I joke around with my fellow Boys and Girls Club professionals around the country that I took the shortcut to becoming the CEO, and I waited 26 years on that shortcut. And I'm glad I did, because it is an intense job. It does require a lot of experience, and I'm fortunate that I waited because this is, like I said, it's intense. It's a lot to do, but when you're working with kids, at the end of the day, you don't feel any stress or pressure. You go home, you're like, yeah, wow, you know what? I help kids. It's all good.
And you brought one of your board members here, Charlie. I've known you for many years.
It's like a reunion.
Yes.
It's comfortable to be here, too.
Yeah. Tell us about your term on the Boys and Girls Club board. I think it's been 8 years, right?
It's been 8 years, 8 good years. And I was strong-armed. No, Chuck Hill, who was our founder, invited me to attend a club visit one day, and was at the Garden Terrace unit. And I always had an interest in the Boys and Girls Club, but being in the business I was in education, didn't know if I had the time to be able to be an effective board member. But I walked into the Garden Terrace unit, and I saw 6 of my kids that attended my middle school. And from there, I was kind of hooked. And been 8 years, and it's been really great being on the board to have the opportunity to positively make a difference with the lives of kids in our community.
So many people who are watching this show are retired, and I'm sure they're looking for something to do. So I believe that your story is a very good one for them to live by as well. How easy it is to spend a few times out of your week to help the kids in our community.
Yeah, it's not a big demand on your time. It's like anything else. It's what you want to put into it. Some days it be the whole day, and we schedule our times, and Mike appreciates, I think, everybody's time. Most of the people on the board have full-time jobs, so for them it's, I think, more of a sacrifice. With me, I have the time, so I can rearrange and juggle my schedule as long as I don't interfere with my wife's time. I would say to anybody who has an interest, we'd love to have them come and do a club tour and visit. And that's how I got hooked. And you don't have to be a board member. You could actually join a committee and be on a committee. And many times some of our board members go through that process and eventually decide, oh, I want to be a board member.
You mentioned Garden Terrace the first time you walked into Garden Terrace, but you've moved now. The club is no longer there. Let's talk about your new facility.
Wow, we have a brand new club. It's the Garden Terrace unit. And I have to thank the Housing Authority of the City of Fort Pierce. They've been with us for 20 years as a strong partner every step of the way. Our first club 20 years ago was the Garden Terrace unit. And so they built this phenomenal facility called the Williams Center on Avenue J. And it's actually 3 blocks away from our old Garden Terrace club, and it's just a brand new facility. It's we're in the facility with our administrative offices, Housing Authority has an office there, and there's a police substation inside the building right next to the club piece. And so I think the most exciting thing was the first day we opened up, there was a 6-year-old club member who walked in, and everything in the club is new. All new games room equipment, all new computers, chairs, tables, pencils, glue sticks, everything is new. And this young man, he walked in, he was like, yeah! and that just made it worth the while. I mean, you know, I wish Housing Authority was there that day just to see that young man's expression walking in. I think he just summed it up best for everyone. And it's good because it's telling kids that we care about you and that we care about the community, that we can partner with housing and have a great relationship that says to folks, this is yours. You can have the cream of the crop. And that's what that facility is. It's the best of the best.
You know, partnerships, you know, how valuable are they? You know, you don't need as much money if you have the partnerships because they bring resources that you need.
Right.
It's the Housing Authority, the school district,
Right.
and so many other partners that help you run and build capacity.
Right. Well, United Way.
Right. Well,
United Way is
yeah.
one of those long-standing partners as well. Children's
we're glad.
Services Council.
Yes, Children's Services Council.
Right.
Yes.
The Terrio Group. The fire department, the St. Lucie Mets. We have a lot of partners that enable us to do the things that we do for kids.
Now that school has started, we're thinking about already academic success. You know, at United Way, we were doing the school supplies for students drive, and now they've received their backpacks and they're happy and they're ready to go. Let's talk about academic success and what you do with kids to achieve that.
Well, I'm proud to say last year we had over 2,000 kids receive homework assistance in our 16 locations. Over 2,000. Every day when kids come out of school, they have to do what we call Power Hour, and that's just homework help. All staff is on the floor helping kids with homework, checking their homework. We can't get to every kid and check their homework and make sure it's done correctly. So parents, please make sure that you check your kids' homework when you get home. But we provide that assistance with them. And then on top of that, we have computers so they can go online and do research and help with school projects. But I think most importantly, we do a program called Project Learn. And what it is, it's we kind of trick kids. We do educational activities, but it's fun. It's kind of structured. So for example, they may be out on the basketball court and doing a spot shot competition, but they're learning math skills because they have to add the scores up, things of that nature. We just, at the New Garden Terrace Club, for example, we have this thing called a laser peg table. And it's a pretty cool thing. It's a small table, and it's kind of like Legos, but they light up, and they're pegs. And they can build structures with it. And as they build their structure and plug it into the board on the table, it lights up so they can build cities. And what they're learning are the skills and techniques from engineering. To see, okay, this peg goes here to build this, and if it'll fall over if I don't do this. So we're giving them those skills and while they're having fun. So for academic success, everything that we can do to help kids, because they're learning when they're not in school is very critical, because we don't want them to slide backwards.
You know, when you think about all the needs of the children, and you just mentioned that you had a lot of new items in the facility, but I'm sure you're in need of other items. Is there anything that you have on your wish list that the kids really need?
For all of our clubs, I think, except Garden Terrace is set now, and I think that's the model club for the organization now, and we want to duplicate that. When you look at our games rooms at our other 3 locations, we can use a remodeling of our games rooms. You know, when someone walks in and they see a pool table, it's not about playing pool, not about playing billiards. It's about math, actually. You know, we do things, for example, we'll get a group of kids around a pool table and say, okay, what's 7 plus 3? And the first one to answer 10 gets to shoot and try to make the 10 ball in. So we do creative things to teach skills with kids. You know, when they're playing foosball, they're learning how to interact with one another. When you go into our games rooms, you really don't see chairs because we want the kids to learn the socialization skills. It's in the games room where kids learn how to interact in a positive nature with their peers. That interaction carries over into school. because now they know how to act in a social environment. They feel comfortable. They start to develop some competencies. You know, it's a great thing when you take a kid who can barely look over the ping pong table, but then he can rally and hit a ball back and forth. And so when he started and he was frustrated, now the 6-year-old's got a big smile on his or her face. That carries over into school. They've got a little confidence, right? And they've got a little strut in their step, and they're going to school a little bit more confident. And when you're confident, you learn more.
Right, right. And you're celebrating your 20th year. What are you
Yes.
doing special for that?
Well, I appreciate you asking that. Obviously, you know, that we're proud of the fact that as a nonprofit, you know, and 20 years in some communities is not a long time, because there's some clubs that have been in existence for 100 years. So we're relatively short in our existence, but we're proud of the fact that we've been able to get through the good times, the hard times, the ugly times, and still are benefiting kids in our community. So what we are planning on doing is we're going to have a celebration, a kickoff, on September 20th. It's going to be at the Kids Crossing Park, right near the administration building on Virginia Avenue. So we're going to be welcoming the community to come out and to celebrate with us, because that's also Kids Day, which is an annual recognition for all kids that participate in clubs. You know, what we're really looking at is that we're proud of what we've done for 20 years, but we're looking at how do we get to 25. So we have a campaign that we're going to be launching, and I ask the community to keep an ear and eye open, because that 20 years, we could not do it alone, as you know. Being a nonprofit, Mike mentioned several of our partners, but we've had hundreds of partners along that way, probably thousands, that allowed us to exist and to benefit kids. So, you know, when they talk about a village, essentially has taken that for us to be able to, but we're looking ahead to our 25. So I encourage you, as well as everybody else, to be listening about what we're going to be doing to get us from 20 to 25, because we do have more of a need in our community than clubhouses that we're serving kids. So we need to look at expansion down the road.
Do you have a waiting list?
We don't turn any kid away.
Okay.
We are pretty much at capacity at 2 of our 4 clubhouses in our school-based sites. And we play the shell game, so to speak. We try not to turn a kid away, because those are the people who need us most. You know, that's our mission. But we keep a careful eye on our ratios and a careful eye on how many kids are in the facility at that time. If a club can hold 200 kids, it's not like all 200 would be there at the same time, because we stay open at 8 o'clock so teenagers can come in, you know, and stay till 8 o'clock. Younger kids, we send them home, you know, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 9-year-olds, even 12-year-olds, you know, go home at 6:30. But we keep a careful eye on that. I mean, proud to say that when you walk into our clubs, they're active and they're a little noisy. That means that kids are there and they're having a good time. So.
And you have a couple events coming up. You've got a golf tournament and your steak and steak
Yes.
event.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
I'll speak to the golf tournament, and that's again the 18th annual Chuck Hill golf tournament, named after our founder, and we're going to be hosting that on October 4th at Club Med, and it's an opportunity for fun, but it's also a fundraiser for us as well, and we are looking at using those dollars in a way that can provide our kids more opportunities. So hopefully, you know, through this broadcast, anybody who's interested in knowing more about it, they can contact me. My telephone number is 772-924-6823. And we're looking for foursomes and obviously sponsors. And we have a goal this year, since it's our 20th year, to raise $20,000.
Yeah, that's a wonderful goal. How about the steak and steak?
Steak
We've
and
got a
steak.
couple minutes.
Wow, yeah, that's our premier event presented by the Terrio Group. This year, the Steak and Steak Dinner will be hosted at the Lexus dealership here in Fort Pierce, in their elegant showroom. So thank you, the Terrio Group and Lexus. And essentially what it is you enjoy a steak dinner while taking a stake in a child's life. We're going to have 350 guests come out. This year we're doing a Las Vegas cabaret style show after the dinner. So folks who come out to the event, you get some entertainment afterwards, and it's just a good time really celebrating kids and the individuals in the community taking a stake in a child's life. Last year we started something new at the Steak and Steak dinner. We give out the award for caring. So this year we will be giving out that award again to a deserving recipient in the community. And it's just really just come out, have a good time. We have a live auction. We have some unique auction items such as a membership to PGA membership. We also have on Valentine's Day a trip to New York City that we're auctioning off. Flight, hotel, and a Broadway show included. So coming out to Steak and Steak, we've got some great auction items that are different and unique.
Wow.
You know, another plus with that, at every table, one of our kids are sitting there.
Right.
So it's an opportunity for those that are attending to sit and talk with our kids, and they'll be amazed at the conversations that those our kids will have with them. So come on out and join us. It's
So
a great
if they
time.
want to hear more, what's the phone number?
Call 460-9918, or you can email us at dgonzalez@bgcofslc.org, or visit our website at www.bgcofslc.org.
Boys and Girls Club of
St.
St. Lucie
Lucie
County.
County.
All
That's
right,
right.
we can remember that. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be right back.
Packers. Viking. Packers. Viking. Viking.
Red state, blue state, vegan,
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
downtown.
Optimist.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities,
Live.
our families,
United.
even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Hi, welcome back. We are now going to speak with a representative from the Treasure Coast Food Bank. Dilly, welcome, Dilly.
Thank you. Thank you for having us
This is the
here.
first time I've had the opportunity to speak with you, and I hear you have so much information to give our viewing audience that we would make sure we get right to it. Treasure Coast Food Bank, people hear a lot about that, especially when it comes certain times of the year, or when the mailman comes around with the bag and you know,
Right.
donate, and of course Thanksgiving time. And I think I receive something in the mail about 3 or 4 times a year. So you do get your name out there. But let's talk about your mission.
Our mission at the Treasure Coast Food Bank is to obtain and distribute food throughout the entire Treasure Coast, focusing on all 4 counties, to alleviate hunger and to end it at some point. We hope to. That's our vision, is to end hunger on the Treasure Coast.
Right, right. And that's a large area and
It is
many people, hundreds of thousands of people. I know that the face of hunger has changed. You know, those who you used to serve years ago, and then when the economy sort of went south and many people lost their jobs and their homes, that face of that individual has changed somewhat. And can you talk to us a little bit about how that's affected families, especially in St. Lucie County?
It truly has changed. Typically, you know, we think of the face of hunger as that older gentleman in the soup line. You see it on billboards and you've seen it in magazines, but it's really your face, it's my face, it's our neighbor's face, you know, with the job rate at 60% loss in the last 5 years, and the cost of food going up, and one family member at least working part-time or making minimum wage and finding it hard to put food on the table, and making really critical decisions about whether to pay the light bill or buy medications or put food on the table. So sometimes those decisions end up where they have to find other resources for food, and this is why we're out here to serve those families.
Yes, and when you look at the vulnerable, the most vulnerable, the elderly and the children,
Absolutely.
I know the food bank has programs specifically targeting, you know, those more vulnerable in our community. Can we talk a little bit about? I know you have a children's backpack program.
Yes, as you said, the children are the most vulnerable. Unfortunately, in St. Lucie County alone, about 30% of the children don't know where their next meal is coming from, and that's huge. That's about 17,000 kids in St. Lucie County alone. Some of these kids, or the majority of these kids, are, I'd say 73% of those children partake in the federally funded child nutrition programs like the food stamps and the school lunch program. But once they're home, that ends. And so the school backpacks help to feed that, feed that child after he leaves school, so he'll have food to eat at home. And along with that, we have the school pantry program, where not only do we focus on that one child, but his entire family, because we don't know if that family's going to eat that evening. So we make sure that we are supplying that food for them at night.
If someone who's watching is in need, or they know of someone who is in need, what number would they call?
They would call directly to our food bank at 772-489-3034.
And you have many partners.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, school district, Boys and Girls Clubs. Let's talk about some of those partners.
Well, like I said, with these after school, the after school, oh gosh, I completely lost
That's
on this
okay.
The Boys and Girls Clubs helps us very tremendously in helping the children with the snack programs for after school kids and for the home-based school pantries as well, because typically some of these children will go there after school for their after school program, and they need snacks, they need food, and then again we work directly with them so that they will be able to send that bag of food home to make sure that family's eating at night.
Yeah.
So
How do you
we're
work with the school district? They identify the children, is that correct?
Yes, we have a great relationship with the schools. We work directly with the school counselors, those frontline workers that know these children. They know if these children are, like in the school cafeterias, those kids who you see them save that last cookie or they save that apple and try to put it in their pocket, and so that's for later. And so that kind of identifies a child in need. And so we have a very good response with them that they can then let the school pantry know that they feel these children are going to be in need, and we supply them with those backpacks.
In September is Hunger Action Month.
September is Hunger Action
You
Month,
have
and
exciting plans for this
We're
coming month.
extremely excited about September. It's the month where food banks across the nation, in partnership with Feeding America, this is our time to really raise awareness on hunger and try to raise funds for the food banks to keep their programs going. We have a variety of events going on in this month of September. You can go to our website at stophunger.org. You can download the entire calendar for the month. Every day is filled with activities. We're asking our folks also to wear orange for awareness, because orange is the color of hunger. We're asking folks to join our fight against hunger and take photos, post it on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. Our sponsors are willing to donate $1 for every post. So we're asking everybody out there to post their photos, and can't wait to see the plethora of photos come out.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
Thanks.
And I'm sure that the schools appreciate all the work that you do for the kids, and I'm sure their families do too. Let's talk about the volunteers. I just did a walkthrough of the Treasure Coast Food Bank, and I saw the volunteers who were packing items or counting and doing whatever you needed to do to begin the distribution process. Let's talk about some of the things that volunteers do for you.
Well, we can't do it without our volunteers. They're so special to us. Volunteers can come and to the Treasure Coast Food Bank, to the distribution center. They can store food, sort food. This is something that groups can do, church groups, youth groups, auxiliaries, and they can work in the office. They can do administrative work. They can work our events when we're out there, like the Treasure Coast Mall, or at the Saturday morning farmers market. We've got volunteers who work all these areas for us, and we encourage them to do so. Sorry, I'm so nervous.
Do you have any events coming up? Any annual events that you have there in the foreseeable future?
Well, as I said, September is our biggest month. This is our hunger awareness month. So we have all these great activities, and you're going to see a lot of that throughout the Treasure Coast because we've got lighting ceremonies.
You have many food pantries that you partner with, and those food pantries help you distribute the food to those who are in
Yes.
need. Let's talk about the entire process. Say I donate food, you take it in, and then what happens after that?
Well, the food that's brought in through food drives or through our retailers out in the community is brought back to the distribution center. Our wonderful volunteers sort that out. This sorting then gets put into our inventory. Our agencies then are able to order online, pick up their food, and take it back to their pantries to be able to distribute to them. We've got over 200 pantries throughout the Treasure Coast.
And fresh vegetables
fresh
are so
fruits,
important.
fresh fruits and
Let's talk-
vegetables.
yeah, you have partnerships in the community that provide fresh vegetables to citizens?
We do. Along with our retailers, we have local growers. We have packing houses that donate directly to the food bank, and that adds a lot to the nutritional value of every meal. It's something that people sometimes can't afford to have, and because of the cost of food going up. So we're so happy to be able to provide that through our partnerships with our local growers.
Yes, you know that you're looking for resources from individuals, but you also have some big business in our community that partner with you. I think Publix.
Oh, we've got lots of retailers: Publix, Winn-Dixie, Walmart, Sam's. Yes, we value them so much because they do support our organization, and without them, we really couldn't do what we do every day.
Yeah, and you have a quite small staff, so volunteers are very important, and your partnerships are very important. And the kids that you serve, I'm sure, benefit greatly, as well as the families of those children. How does a parent go about contacting the school if they feel that that backpack program would benefit their child? Let's say their child wasn't targeted by the school, but the parent would like to take part in the program. Is that feasible?
Absolutely. All a parent has to do is go to the school counselor or that school teacher and let them know that this is something that they feel that they need and that they would like their child to participate in, and it's that simple. And they'll get added to the list, and we'll supply that food to that family and that child.
Wow, that's great.
Absolutely.
That's great. We have 1 minute. Is there anything we might have missed, or do you want to repeat anything?
Well, we certainly need the help. As you said, we're small staffed, and we definitely need volunteer help. So anybody that would like to volunteer at the food bank, to please call and speak to either Casey or to Evelyn Miller to come and participate with the sorting process or working in the administrative part of the food bank. Again, hunger awareness is coming up next month, so we're encouraging everybody to get involved. Hunger is all around us, and it's the sign of the times, and that's what we really need is everybody's support. And
Yeah.
we're orange.
We're orange. Well, thank you for joining us, Dilly.
Thank you.
And if you would like to help volunteer and you didn't catch those numbers, you can always call United Way at 464-5300. Thank you for joining us.